Hey everybody, going to continue today by showing you the progress that's been made on the CubeCart eBay sales plugin for eBay. So this is just to show you what additions have been made during the beta. The beta is still ongoing, but hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll actually have a product that'll be available for purchase. So the first thing that you'll notice is license information. We now have a licensing module built in. License key is actually a CubeCart order number which comes from my own online store, and it does a license check to see if this is valid, and if it is, it shows you here. If it's not, it gives you the error message. Licenses are locked to your specific domain, so you can only use it once, although if you do need to migrate to another domain you just need to contact support and we can do that for you. A maintenance agreement is the amount of time that you're entitled to upgrades of the plugin and also support. You can buy extensions to those through the online store if you need to. The eBay site is now a selection. You can just choose whether or not you want the live site or a test site. And if you're only using a demo site, if you're not using a valid license key, you can only ever use Sandbox. If you try and push items to the live site, it will give you an error. So ideal for testing. You don't need a license to test this. You can play about in Sandbox, make sure it works correctly for your site. I've also added plugin version information and messages from my store. At the moment this is version 1.0.0, and there's a couple of test notices here which have been sent over the internet to your store from my feed. Generally we'll put notifications in here about new versions and bug fixes when they're available. Okay, the inventory settings, there's been quite a lot of adjustments made. I'll just jump straight into one of my test products and I'll just talk you through these settings. Okay, so category search, there's been a lot of enhancements here. When you choose a category now, it's going to populate a lot of information behind the scenes and drive the choices on this page. To give you an example, we've chosen a category and it auto-populates the item conditions for us, specific to this category, and also things like the listing durations that this category supports. So for example, buy it now, 3 days all the way down to 30 days for this category. But an auction only supports 3 to 10 days. So this is fairly dynamic, it changes on the fly depending on what choices you make. We also do a check now for item variations on a category, whether or not they're supported. If it's not supported, then the option here at the bottom for product options is set to disabled and you cannot enable it. If you did enable it, then you'll just get errors and you wouldn't be able to list the item anyway. Item specifics are now supported. eBay require in some categories that you supply item specifics, and in other categories they just suggest that you add them. So what we do here is any suggested item specifics from eBay get populated into a list, and any values for that eBay suggest, we also give you the choice. So here eBay suggested, I can use glass, wood, plastic, or I could just type in my own value. If eBay are forcing you to choose one of their values, the text box is not available and you have to use one of the drop-down choices. Any required item specifics will be highlighted in red. You must populate these, otherwise when you try and list the item it's going to come back with an error. Okay, we've also added some support in here for SKUs. A SKU is linked to your CubeCart product code, and that is sent to eBay with your product. That's going to be really useful when we get into the order import stage, because we will guarantee that you can always match up the product on eBay to the product in your store, and we can match up things like stock levels and reduce stock amounts when people have purchased items. This includes items where people are using the options matrix, which is in the latest version of CubeCart. Yeah, I've already got that working in a beta, but I'm not going to go into details on that today. Okay, so we've added the license information, which is in there. We've added item specifics. We've added the ability to add multiple shipping methods. You can now add up to a maximum of 10 in the plugin, although I'm not sure if eBay support a total of 10, but I just thought I'd give you a big number so you can throw in as many as you need. There's still a bug with caching in this plugin version. I haven't fixed that yet, but that will be added before release. We've also added the title of the product that you're editing at the top, because it got a little confusing, not knowing sometimes which product you were editing. The next major change is on the Push to eBay tab. We actually have a filter active eBay listings button. What this does is it checks on eBay to see if the items that you uploaded previously are still an active item, or whether or not the auction or buy it now item has ended. If it's ended, then you can push the item again. If the listing is still active, then it will be not be available from this list to choose. So this just stops you listing things multiple times and getting errors from eBay, as they don't allow multiple listings. So we have global settings. That hasn't really changed. So we have things in there like the HTML templates, but I'm not going to go into that today. So those are the new enhancements. This is going out for testing this week with our beta testers user base. I'm going to wait for some feedback, probably put in some bug fixes, a few more minor enhancements, and then this is looking like it can be released. So yeah, if you have any feedback, please let me know.